afternoon. How are you doing? Okay. Yeah, not so good. Alright. Well, if you would just like to take a seat, we can get started if you'd like. Okay. So, my name is Dr. Calliope. I will be discussing your mental health with you today. Is that okay? Okay. So, I just want to let you know that anything that you confide in me or have any concerns about, anything that we talk about will be completely confidential, except for if you tell me of any abuse of any kind, past or present, or you tell me that you're going to hurt yourself or another person, then I have to break the confidentiality agreement. But everything else will stay just between me and you in this room. Now, I hope you'll forgive me. This isn't my usual office, but we're moving offices, so I hope you don't mind the temporary space. Okay, so let's get started. So, I did tell you that everything's confidential here, except for abuse or if you're planning to hurt yourself. So, I do want to keep your thoughts and concerns safe in this room, but I also would like to keep you safe as well, okay? Okay. So, before we begin, I just want to verify that you are alert and oriented. So, do you mind if I do a couple of tests real quick? Okay. So, if you wouldn't mind telling me what the date is. Okay, and approximately what time is it? Okay, and do you know where you're at right now? Okay. Alright, and on your way here, how was the weather? Okay. Was it warm or cool or... Okay. Okay, and how did you arrive here? Were you given a ride or did you drive here? Okay. Now, I'm going to grab my flashlight real quick, and I'm just going to do a couple tests with your pupillary response. Is that okay? Alright, so first I'm just going to shine a light into your eyes. It will be kind of bright. I'm just going to check that you are having an okay, direct, and consensual response with your pupils. So, the direct would be if I shine a light into your eye, the pupil gets smaller. And if I do it in that eye, then the other one will also follow. Okay? Alright. We're gonna do direct. Consensual. Okay. Okay. Direct. Consensual. And consensual. Okay. Alright, now let me just write down that that was fine. Okay. we're just going to do a little bit of light tracking, if that's okay. So I'm just going to have your eyes, without moving your head, follow the light in different directions, okay? Alright. Okay, we're going to look up and down. All right. Okay, that eye was just fine. You're just following where the light is going. Okay, and now. Okay, perfect. Just write down that all of that was okay. Okay. Do you mind if I check your pulse real quick? Okay, if you just want to go ahead and hold out your arm. Okay. Alright, that seems to be just fine for the most part. Okay. Pulse was a little slippery. Are you feeling kind of nervous today? Okay, well, that is just fine. Does this happen to be your first time here, or have you been to see a psychologist before? Okay, well, I just want you to know that if there is anything that's going on that you aren't comfortable with or that you don't like, just let me know and we will work to accommodate you in the best way we can, okay? Okay. Your mental health and your comfortability is something we pride on taking care of. So we just want to make sure that you feel safe and taken care of, okay? I mean, that's the whole reason why you're here, right? Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick medical history. For the most part, I have everything, however, just kind of an update. So, do you have any acute or chronic medical conditions that aren't listed? For example, if you've got a new diagnosis, or if you just neglected to tell the receptionist of any different conditions, maybe like asthma, high blood pressure. Okay. Yep, that's just fine. Okay. Do you take any medications for anything at all? Okay. Okay. Do you know how much you take? Okay, well, we can look that up. How many times a day do you take that? Okay. Okay. Do you have any allergies to any medications at all? Okay. Alright, perfect. So now I'd just like to kind of consult with you about why you're here, okay? So, what seems to be the problem, or why did you come see me today? Okay. Okay. Some depression. Sure. Anxiety. Okay. And what was that last one? Oh, okay. Borderline personality disorder. Okay. Well, I wouldn't worry. I am a specialist with personality disorders, so you don't have to be concerned about if I know how to treat it or how to approach it. I do have a little bit more experience than most psychologists do, so don't worry, okay? Okay. Alright, so for the most part, when did this all start, or when is the earliest you can think of any of these starting? Okay, a few years ago. Do you have maybe a month or maybe a more specific year? Okay. Okay. How are you feeling today, right now? Okay, decent. Alright. Okay. So, most days, what is your mood like? Is it kind of irritable or sad, or some days you might not feel much at all? Okay. 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 Do you have any problems or any difficulties that you encounter with any of these conditions? These would be like you don't leave the house because of anxiety, or that you don't take care of yourself very well because of depression. Okay. Okay, so you don't really drive that much. Okay. And not very social. So, my next question would be, is it interfering in your daily life? Yeah, okay. Okay. I would not feel ashamed in feeling this way at all, okay? So, most people experience some kind of mental illness at least one point in their lives. Whether it be when they're older, when they're younger, anytime in between, it's extremely so I wouldn't put too much stress on that about you being the only person, because you're not, okay? You're not alone. Together we can figure this out. We will figure out a plan. We'll get it together. So there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing bad. You're just different. So we just need to take a bit of a different approach, okay? So we'll be able to figure out how to give you a better quality of life, give you a more, I guess you could say, normal life, but I wouldn't be ashamed of who you are or what you have to do to be who you are, okay? Okay. Alright. So, I am a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I cannot prescribe medications. However, my personal philosophy is that I like to treat the individual with therapy rather than jumping headfirst into medication. So I've seen a lot of instances where people do get on medication right when they start, and they didn't necessarily need it. So I believe that in severe cases, things that don't get better with therapy, you may need to be medicated, and that's completely fine. But I don't want to start with that if it was completely up to me. However, you do have a say in the matter. It is your health. So if you feel like you need to be medicated, if you don't want to be, just let me know and we will respect your wishes, okay? So, do you want to try to be medicated? Do you believe you need to try that? Or would you rather just start slow and more work on therapy, talking, reinforcement? Okay. Okay. If this happens to change at any point, let me know. It's not a big deal. We just have to work around things a little bit, okay? Okay. mind just telling me a little bit about yourself? Okay. Okay. Alright. So, a lot of that was mostly negative. Could you tell me about yourself using only positive adjectives? These could be like strong or caring or adventurous, just not negative words. Just tell me about yourself in the grand scheme of things, using only positive words. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. And what do you generally do in your spare time? What is your hobby? Okay. Okay. Do you have many friends? Do you get out much? Okay. And where do you work if you have a job? Okay. Yeah, I know where that's at. Okay. Do you enjoy your job? Alright. Do you have any things that you strongly like or dislike about it? Okay. Alright, well, let's go ahead and first focus on the anxiety aspect, okay? So, what triggers your anxiety? What makes it pop up, flare up, whatever word you want to use? What makes it a little more known to you? Okay. 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 Do you notice that it sometimes pops up kind of randomly or not really when anything's going on? Okay. Okay. Would you say that over the last few months it has worsened or gotten any better? Okay. Yeah, that's why you're here. Okay. Alright, so approximately when did your anxiety begin? Okay. Yeah, it seems to be when everything is, right? Okay. So, do you have anything that relieves it or makes it better? Okay. So, now the depression. What would trigger a depressive episode for you? So, depressive episode would be like a period of time, generally a few days, sometimes a week. If you have like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, things like that, these things can cycle kind of rapidly. So it might not be a few days, it might be a few hours, it might be a few minutes. Okay. Okay. So does that also have the possibility of kind of popping up at random times? Okay. Alright. How long does usual episode last? A few days. you ever had any of your depressive episodes last longer than a couple weeks? Okay, hasn't been for a while. Alright. Okay. Over the last few months, has your depression worsened or gotten any better? Approximately when did that begin? Okay. Do you have anything that relieves the depression at all? So this could be like being out in public, going out with friends, watching funny videos. Okay. So now on to the borderline personality disorder. So I'm generally a little wary to, I suppose, consider somebody as actually having a personality disorder, because you do need to be diagnosed. You know, it's not something you can go on the internet and just say, oh, hey, that all matches up with me. That's not really how it works. So the internet's great for pointing you in an okay direction. However, you know, you might have a degree in Google University, but I have an actual degree. So, were you formally diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, or was that just something you've kind of adapted? Okay, alright. So, who was the psychiatrist that diagnosed you? And where did you see them? Where do they practice? Okay, and when were you diagnosed with that? Last year, alright. So, what was your home life like as a child? Yeah, it kind of sounds like an odd question, but it's not. So there is significant evidence that supports that people with borderline personality disorder, they more develop the disorder because their caregiver or their parents or their guardians, whoever they look up to, takes care of them. Their caregiver did not validate their emotions, or they might have not necessarily abused them, but weren't adequate in their care. So this could be like if you had told your parents you were having issues and they kind of just shrugged it off and told you were fine. You do that enough, and sometimes if you have the right genes for it, that you're already prone to it, that's generally when it might start to pop up. So I asked that question because that's generally a big cause of where it comes from. So usually you have the genes for it, but you don't get it until you meet these certain criteria. However, that's not always true. So it's just why I ask. It's also to help us understand these diseases. Okay. Okay, and who was it that took care of you for the most part, that didn't quite give you the emotional support that you needed? And how's that relationship now? Somewhat better, somewhat? Okay. Okay, so after talking with you a little bit, you seem like a very strong individual, just kind of holding on. I do recognize that you sound like you have your head in the right place. You're just trying to get it together, and I commend you for that. That's really hard to do, okay? So, taking the first step is always the hardest. So then, once you keep going, you just keep going, and keep going, and keep going, and keep going. So, this is a process, though. So, if you feel like it's not going fast enough, then I would just like you to know it's not going to happen overnight. It's not even going to happen over days. It's going to be weeks. It's going to be months. But once you get started, you can keep going, okay? Alright. So, what would you like to get accomplished in your time here with me? This could be like you want stress management options, you want coping strategies, you want emotional validation, anything. Okay. Okay, how often do you believe you need to see me here? So, maybe once a week, twice a week, once a month, every couple weeks. Okay. So my personal recommendation is that you come here once a week for the next 12 weeks. So this would be 12 sessions over the next few months. I don't think you need any more than that, but I don't feel comfortable doing any less than that, okay? So if you need to see a psychiatrist at any point, let me know. We can get that set up for you. I'll respect your choice no matter what. You are the best judge of what is working, and if you feel like there is anything you need extra, such as adding medication, just let me know. We're trying to do what's best for you. So this is not just my call, this is also your call as well, okay? We are here for your well-being. We're not here to tell you what to do, we're just trying to help you figure out what to do, okay? So, does that sound like an okay plan to you? Would you like to be seen more or less? Okay. Okay. So, your next appointment will be next week. So, if you would like to set that up when you check out, you can let us know what day you need to come in, at what time works best for you. We do have a 48-hour cancellation policy, so please be mindful of that. If you need to cancel an appointment, please call, please let us know, so then we can get somebody else in, and you won't get billed for it, okay? Alright, so I think that is just about it. Do you feel any better, any worse? Okay. Alright, well, it was very nice to meet you. Please take care of yourself. You only have one life, and the most important person is yourself. You have to live with you, and that is it. So, please take care of yourself. Okay. Thank you very much. I will see you next week, alright? Have a really, really nice evening.